Hi everyone, my name is Caris and welcome back to my corner of the internet where I talk about books and other things that I enjoy. Now you may be thinking, Caris, that is an iconic look you're rocking today. Firstly, you would be right. Secondly, there's a reason, and that is because today I'm going to be tier ranking every character from the Story of Tracy Beaker. So I think this video is perfectly timed because not only did the My Mum Tracy Beaker TV series come out yesterday, but today, as this video is going up, is also the first day of Wilsathon, which is a Jacqueline Wilson themed readathon that I'm hosting with my wonderful friends Charlotte, Aoife, Anna and Leanne. And the aim of it is basically just to spend a week reading Jacqueline Wilson. If you want to join in, if you've got any Jacqueline Wilson books lying around the house, there's definitely still time. We're going to be running this all week. I'll leave a link to my announcement video in the description, and also you can go over to Wilsathon on Twitter to check out the prompts. As this readathon is happening and we're all so excited about it, I think a lot of us are planning on doing some Jacqueline Wilson related content throughout the week. I think a couple of the girls are planning on doing a tier ranking every Jacqueline Wilson book they read video. However, I've already done that, so I can't really do it again. But that was one of my favourite videos that I've done on my channel since coming back to BookTube. So I thought, why not do tier ranking Tracy Beaker characters, because it's such an iconic show. So yeah, that's why I'm wearing this jumper, which I think is a fashion moment in itself. I found it on Etsy. I will be wearing it 90% of the time throughout this readathon. I've got my hair in these two high pigtails like I'm back in 2001, although I was definitely more of a low ponytail girl. This is what I wanted to be. But anyway, let's just get on into the tier ranking video. I'll share my screen now and talk through the board and then start ranking some of these characters. So I've made 6 tiers to rank the characters in. Starting from the bottom, we've got Bog Off. Does any more need to be said? It's literally on my jumper. It's Tracy's iconic catchphrase. She uses it when she really hates someone. So those are the worst characters. Then we've got the Quiet Room, which was a room in the dumping ground where the characters were sent when they'd been bad and they just needed to have a bit of chill out time, take a bit of time away from everyone. So that's what I'm using for characters who I don't like, but they don't deserve to like bog off fully. Then I've got It's Just Hay Fever, which is what Tracy used to say. She used to be like, I'm not crying, it's just hay fever. So I'm using this one here when I don't dislike a character. I don't really like them either. It's not enough to cause a strong emotion from me. It's just hay fever. Then we've got Justine's TV, which was an iconic moment from the early seasons of the show. And I chose this category for characters that I like, but not really love, because, you know, the TV had potential to be great, but it wasn't iconic. It was a bit of a flop. Then we've got the Queen of Cool, which is a quote that I think Tracy calls herself. So these are characters that are the Queen of Cool, but not quite the God tier top level, which is Who's Got My Maroon 5 CD. Probably the most iconic quote from the show because so many memes have come out of it. So I didn't feel like I could put anything else as the top tier other than that. In terms of the characters, I think I've got all of the main characters from seasons 1 to 5. I didn't do anything past the end of the Story of Tracy Beaker, so the Dumping Ground, Tracy Beaker Returns, My Mum Tracy Beaker, none of that. Obviously some of these characters do appear there, but I've just pulled through the ones who were in series 1 to 5, and that's the like context that I'm going to be talking about them in. I did watch all 5 series of the show. I did watch some of the Dumping Ground as well, even though I was definitely not the target demographic when that came out. But you know, I'm going to be watching My Mum Tracy Beaker at the age of 24. I feel like the earlier seasons of the Story of Tracy Beaker I definitely remember better, because even when the later seasons were coming out, the ones that they would repeat and show on CBBC again and again were always the early ones. So some of the later characters might be a bit less clear, but we'll just see. I think they've more or less pulled through in alphabetical order because that's just what the file names that I saved were called. So we'll just go through them. So first we've got Adele, and I think she's got to go into Queen of Cool. She wasn't one of my favourite characters, but she was pretty cool. She had a good head on her shoulders. She was very maternal, really looked after the younger kids in the dumping ground. The thing that always put me off her though was when she went and lived in her own little apartment and Tracy went and you saw her eating the cold baked beans. I know that's a thing that people do, but something about that I did not enjoy seeing that. So for now I'm going to put her in Queen of Cool. She might possibly be Justine's TV, but that would be just because she wasn't really in it for very long. but we'll leave her there for now. Next we've got Alice, who was a character from the later seasons. I think I'm going to put her in It's Just Hay Fever because I don't really remember too much about her. I think she was portrayed as like this sort of hippie character, and I thought it was cool that she did her own thing, but I think by the time this season came out I was possibly like older than her, so I didn't really care about her as much as some of the other characters. Next we've got Ben, who I think for now I'm going to put him in the quiet room. He was one of Tracy's first friends. He didn't actually live in the dumping ground, but he lied to her and she thought that he was really poor and he was from a sort of troubled background as well, so that's how they formed their bond. And then she found out that he was really rich and he was just lying to her, which is not cool. He did then throw an iconic party for all of the dumping ground with his DJing skills, so I guess that would be something that was a bit of a saving grace for him, but other than that I don't really remember too much about him. Because of his lying, he's going to go in the quiet room for now. Next we've got Bouncer, and to be honest I feel very conflicted about Lol and Bouncer. I feel like they were meant to be the comedy characters, but I feel like Lol in particular was probably quite problematic, so it will be interesting to watch this back because I am tier ranking this more or less from memory from when I was a kid. But I feel like I liked Bouncer more than Lol. Lol was quite annoying. Lol was always the one sort of pushing problematic ideas into Bouncer's head, but Bouncer was more of just a nice guy sort of character. So I think I'm going to put him in Justine's TV. I definitely didn't love him enough to go any higher, but I think I liked him more than Lol. Next we've got Cam, who fosters or adopts in the end Tracy. I don't really know how I feel about Cam. I feel like I always found her quite annoying, but she is so integral to Tracy's story that I feel like I can't put her in one of the lower tiers. So I think I will put her in Justine's TV for now, along with Bouncer, but above Bouncer. But her car, iconic. Next we've got Carly Beaker, Tracy's mom. I don't know if she was actually in the TV series, but she was definitely in the movie. I basically included her because the actress is now in Bridgerton, and Tracy's whole thing was, my mum's a famous Hollywood actress, and it's like, oh, your mum actually is an actress, she made it onto Bridgerton. I can't really remember the reasons why Tracy's mum put her in care and how Tracy's mum treated Tracy when they met up, but I don't think it was great, so I'm going to put her in the quiet room. Next we've got Chantal. Now I feel like Chantal was the least iconic of all of the Willard siblings. She had potential, but I think because she was there with Rio and Roxy, they just completely overshadowed her. And I can't remember, maybe I'm doing her a disservice, maybe she did have some episode that was centered around her, but I can't remember anything particularly memorable, so because of that I'm gonna put her in It's Just Hay Fever. Next we've got Crash, who is one of Tracy's like iconic friendship trio from the later seasons. I really like it when him and Jackie came in and they all became a little group, because it was nice to see Tracy with genuine friends rather than just people that she lived with or enemies, people that she argued with. So I think because of that, is he Justine's TV or is he Queen of Cool? I think just for the trio and that vibe, I think him and Jackie will probably go in Queen of Cool. I mean, we all fancied Crash as well, right? Next is Dolly, and Dolly was cute, but she was annoying. I loved her bond with Nathan, the care worker, but I just always remember the episode where she was drinking like chocolate, was it chocolate milk, and just having like a sugar buzz. I remember thinking it was funny, but also thinking she is a bit annoying. So I think I'm gonna put her in It's Just Hay Fever as well. Next we've got Duke. Honestly, what an icon, head chef, head of the kitchen, the funnest care worker that there is. Is he Who's Got My Maroon 5 CD? Just thinking about some of the characters I'm gonna put in there, I'm not sure. I think for now I'm going to put him at the top of Queen of Cool. Next we've got Elaine The Pain, and she has to go straight into Who's Got My Maroon 5 CD. I know, she is annoying, but we all love to hate her, right? She is iconic. There's no denying that Elaine The Pain is an iconic character, and you could not have Tracy Beaker without Elaine The Pain. You just couldn't. So she has to go there. She also has some iconic looks. Next we've got Gary, who is Cam's husband at the end of this, but I have seen that Cam has a wife in My Mum Tracy Beaker, so we love that. Gary, I can't remember anything about him. I think he was just there to give Cam a sort of happy ending. They did adopt Tracy at the end. I think maybe there was like a tension between Tracy and Gary because she thought that Cam could only have one of them or something. But again, did he add anything to the show? I'm not sure. So I think I'm going to put him at the bottom of It's Just Hay Fever. Next we've got Hayley, who is another one who... Did she really do anything? I'm not sure. She was pretty quiet. She was pretty sweet. But I'm going to put her in Justine's TV because there is an iconic moment. I think it's from the movie. If you like search it on YouTube, you'll see it. Where someone says something to her and she says something like, life's a bitch. She had potential. So that's why she's going in Justine's TV. Unfortunately, she did not live up to her potential. She only had that one top tier moment. Next, we've got Jenny. Jenny is the glue that holds the dumping ground together. She's so calm, so like great to the kids, a really good role model for them. We love Jenny. Is she as iconic as Elaine The Pain? I feel like their sort of rivalry was iconic. I think I'm going to put her in Queen of Cool, but again, I might move her up in a bit. Justine Littlewood is going straight into Who's Got My Maroon 5 CD. It's the same as with Elaine The Pain, like, yeah, she's a villain, yeah, Tracy hates her, but the show would not have been the same, especially the early seasons, without her. Layla. I liked Layla. I didn't love her. I was more into like Crash and Jackie and like that whole vibe, so I didn't really pay too much attention to some of the other side characters. So I'm going to put her in It's Just Hay Fever with these characters. And then we've got Lol. As I was saying with Bouncer, I just have bad vibes from Lol. I feel like he was quite problematic. I feel like he was quite sexist. I'm not going to put him in Bog Off because I feel like they were good characters that did provide some entertainment, but I'm going to put him in The Quiet Room. Then we've got Louise. Now, I feel like I've gone on a journey with Louise. When I was little, I have to admit, I liked Louise, probably because, like her, I was a goody two-shoes. And I was just like, oh, she's just so nice. She's just so nice. But thinking back, she wasn't nice. She was snaky. If you're gonna be like bitchy, own it in a like Justine or Roxy, who we're gonna get onto sort of way. So I'm going to put her in The Quiet Room. She's not a Bog Off. Then we've got Marco, who was again from like the later seasons. His outfits were fun, seeing him turn up every episode in a different outfit. So maybe I'll put him in Justine's TV because I feel like he had potential, but I'm not sure if it went to the extent that I thought it could have gone to with making him like a top tier character. I'm going to put him at the bottom of Justine's TV. Then we've got Maxi, who I think was only in like the really early season. And the only thing that I remember him doing is refusing to get out of a car and licking Smarties and then putting them onto cupcakes. And I always thought that was disgusting. He was really little though, but he was quite annoying. So I'm going to put him in It's Just Hay Fever. I didn't dislike him. Like with people like Dolly, I did find him quite annoying. Michael, he's going to go in Bog Off. He was a villain, but not in a villain way like Justine or Elaine, where, you know, you sort of hate them but you love them as well, and they're so just what make the show what it is. Michael was just horrible. Next we've got Mike, who has to go in Who's Got My Maroon 5 CD. I'm sorry that this picture's like cut his head off, but he, like Jenny, was the glue that held the dumping ground together. The best care worker in my opinion, and also he stayed on for so many versions of the show. You can't have the dumping ground without having Mike. Millie, is that what her name was? I think she was this girl who never spoke and she maybe became friends with Marco. She's one of the ones again from the later season. I'm just going to put her at the bottom of It's Just Hay Fever. I wouldn't say that I disliked her, but I can't remember her enough to put her any higher. Then we have Nathan. I think people my age were like low-key in love with when they were watching this show, and now you look back and you're like, really? He was that fun younger care worker. He wasn't quite as iconic as like Jenny, Duke or Mike in my opinion. He had a really sweet relationship with Dolly though, and I feel like you did feel sorry for him and sort of root for him because he kept messing up, and as an adult I feel like that would be relatable. So I'm going to put him at the bottom of Queen of Cool. He was a great character but not quite as great as some of the others. Then we've got Peter, who wasn't in it for very long. He really wants to be Tracy's best friend because they have the same birthday. Tracy's really horrible to him, but then they do have quite a sweet moment towards the end where they become friends and sort of are a support for each other. I'm gonna put him in Justine's TV because I liked him. I liked seeing that side of Tracy that he brought out. Did he do anything great? Not really. Next we've got this gal, Rebecca, I think her name was. I feel like she came into it quite late and she was introduced as a new villain, and she wasn't a villain in the same way that like Justine, Elaine, Roxy were. She was just annoying, but I feel like she wasn't as bad as Michael because she had some sort of like redeeming backstory that made you sympathise with her. I might put her at the bottom of Bog Off because I feel like I dislike her more than I dislike the characters in the Quiet Room tier. But I definitely don't dislike her as much as I disliked Michael. Like, he could be in his own tier. Next we've got Rio Willard. I'm going to put him in Queen of Cool because of his iconic moment, Who's Got My Maroon 5 CD. But he was definitely more in it and more involved and more of a memorable character than Chantal. But he wasn't as great as his other sister Roxy, who I'm gonna get to. If you take away the Who's Got My Maroon 5 CD moment, did he really do that much? Not really. Next we've got Roxy Willard. Honestly, the queen. She's possibly my favourite character from the whole of the 5 seasons of Tracy Beaker. I think she's an icon. I think she's the best villain. Some of her quotes are so funny. Like, there's this one where someone asks her like, how long have you been here, and she's like, oh, not long, I'm planning to torch the place, or just something like that. And the way she delivered them, just so sort of emotionless and dry. Just my sort of character, an icon. We stan. Who's Got My Maroon 5 CD tier. Oh, I don't know which one's which out of these two, Zach and Ryan. I don't know which one's which, but these guys walked so Lol and Bouncer could run. They were the OGs who filled that sort of comedy, lads, sort of possibly a bit sexist role. I think I'll put them in It's Just Hay Fever because I didn't dislike them. I think they were meant to be twins as well, but they do not look alike. Lol, if they are actually twins in real life, and I've just said that. Next we've got Amber. I think she's quite iconic. I'm going to put her in Queen of Cool around here. I think maybe I would move Adele down a bit in a minute. I feel like when we were first introduced to Amber, I didn't really like her, but the more that she was in the show, the more she grew on me. She was quite cool, and I think she found a family at the end who were really similar to her, and it was this really lovely message of like, there's a place for everyone will find someone who they connect with and relate to. Next we've got Shelley. I'm gonna put her in Justine's TV because she was trying to be replacement Jenny and she didn't quite get there. Next we've got this guy. I don't even know what his name was. I could take or leave him. I think I remember him being nice, so I'm gonna put him in It's Just Hay Fever because I don't have anything bad to say, but I don't have anything good either. Then we've got Tracy herself. I mean, does anything more need to be said? I'm gonna put her in Who's Got My Maroon 5 CD, but honestly, I prefer Roxy Willard. You know, this whole world, this whole series wouldn't be a thing without Tracy Beaker, so although she was quite problematic and made some weird decisions and choices, it is where she deserves to go because all of this wouldn't exist without her. And then we've got Wolfie. Was that his name? Is this the guy that slept in a tent outside? Again, It's Just Hay Fever. Don't care for him, but don't dislike him either. And that is it. I have tier ranked all of the characters. Let's just go through them to see if I need to make any changes. So in the Bog Off tier we've got Rebecca and Michael, but as I said, Michael is definitely worse. Then in the Quiet Room tier we've got Ben, Tracy's mom, Lol and Louise. I think all of those characters definitely belong there. I don't know how I would order them. I would probably put Louise as my favourite of them, then Ben, then Lol, and then Tracy's mom. Then we've got It's Just Hay Fever. These are characters that I felt pretty indifferent about. So we've got Gary. I'm going to put him at the bottom. Actually, I'll put Sid at the bottom because I do not remember him. Then Gary, Wolfie, Zach and Ryan, possibly, don't know which one's which. Millie, Alice, Maxi, Chantal, Dolly and Layla. I think Chantal, Dolly and Layla are definitely the top 3 of them because they're the ones that I remember the most, and I feel like they did have a couple of moments. I think maybe Dolly would be the top. Then we've got Justine's TV, so we've got Peter at the bottom just because of his relationship with Tracy. To be honest, I could probably put him down into It's Just Hay Fever, but let's just leave him at the bottom of this tier. Then we've got Marco for his fashion, Hayley because of her one iconic moment. I think she's got to go below Marco. Then Bouncer, Shelley and Cam. And then Queen of Cool, we've got Rio Willard, Nathan, Jackie and Crash, Adele, Amber, Duke and Jenny. I think that's pretty accurate actually. I might move Adele down just because she wasn't in it as much as some of these others. Maybe bring Amber down as well to here. Who's got my Maroon 5 CD? Elaine The Pain, Justine, Mike, Tracy and Roxy Willard. I'm happy with that. So that was my tier ranking for all of the characters in The Story of Tracy Beaker. I really enjoyed filming this video and I would love to know if you watch the show, who your favourite character was and if you agree or disagree with any of my rankings. Other than that though, that is it for today's video. I hope you're all keeping safe and staying well. I hope some of you can join us for Wilsathon. As I said, details in the description. And other than that, I will see you again next time. Bye.